My name is Li Ming, 32 years old, working in a state-owned enterprise. Although it is not a rich family, but my parents are also considered a well-off family, their own work income is quite stable, life is quite stable. That said, I have a classmate named Wang Chong, our college classmates. The relationship has been good. Wang Chong's family is very rich. The family is doing real estate. That is really rich. After graduation, he took over his family's business and is considered young and promising. However, I recently heard that he married a second woman, which exploded in our circle of classmates. Everyone is talking about. One day, a few old classmates gathered at Wang Chong's house. His home, not to mention how luxurious, a large villa. There is a swimming pool, just like the scene in the movie. Once in the door, Wang Chong warmly greeted us. There is also a woman standing beside her, quite beautiful, looks more than 30 years old, elegant temperament. It seems to have seen the big world of people. Hello, everyone, let me introduce, this is my wife, Li Mei. Wang Chong said with a smile. Several of our old classmates froze for a moment, then greeted politely. Hello, sister-in-law. Li Mei smiled and nodded. Hello, everyone, welcome to be your guest. Everyone entered the house and sat down to chat. I asked curiously, Wang Chong, your sister-in-law is so beautiful. How did you guys meet? Wang Chong smiled. It's a long story. We met at a charity event. She was a volunteer at the event at the time, and I was attracted by her kindness and enthusiasm, so I took the initiative to approach her, and then I slowly got to know her and realized that she had gone through a lot. Oh? Sister-in-law was married before. Old classmate Zhang Wei couldn't help but ask. Li Mei nodded graciously. Yes, I had a marriage before, but then divorced for some reasons. But now that I met Wang Chong, I feel like the luckiest person in the world. I could tell that Wang Chong was sincere towards Li Mei, and the way the two looked at each other was filled with tenderness and love. This made me feel a little emotional. After all, in our circle, it was indeed rare for someone as rich as Wang Chong to marry a woman in his second marriage. The party went on happily and we talked a lot. Later, Wang Chong took us to visit his home. The home was luxuriously decorated, but not too cozy. When I walked to a room, I saw that it was filled with books and artwork. This is Li Mei's study. She likes to read books and collect some artworks. Wang Chong explained. Li Mei smiled and added, Yeah, in my spare time, I like to read books here or do some crafts. It calms my mind. I couldn't help but ask, Sister-in-law, what do you think about people's views on your marriage? Li Mei smiled bashfully. Everyone has their own opinion. We can't please everyone. The important thing is that we love each other and respect and understand each other. We'll listen to what others say. The key is to be happy in our own lives. This statement put me in a deep thought. Perhaps we have always cared about what others think, but we have forgotten that what really matters is our own feelings and happiness. After the party, I had a new understanding of Wang Chong's family life. The way they got along with each other as a couple made me feel envy and admiration, and my heart was curious about their lifestyle. So, one day I couldn't help but ask Wang Chong out for a cup of tea to learn more about their life. In the tea house, Wang Chong said while drinking tea, Actually, Li Mei is really a very special woman. She's been through a lot, but has never been beaten down by life. Instead, she's gotten stronger and stronger. I've learned a lot from her. When you first got together, didn't your family have any opinions? I asked. Wang Chong smiled and shook his head. Of course they did, especially my parents, who were adamantly against it at first. They felt that I was in such good condition that I should find an unmarried girl. But I told them that marriage isn't about matching conditions. It's about spiritual fit. Then how did your parents accept it later? I pursued curiously. Li Mei impressed them with her sincerity and kindness. Wang Chong recalled, Once my mom was sick and hospitalized, Li Mei stayed with her every day in the hospital to take care of her, even more attentive than me. My mom was later so moved that she finally agreed to our marriage. Hearing this, my heart's respect for Li Mei increased a few more points. A woman who could give so much was indeed worthy of being loved and cherished. In fact, the most important thing in marriage is the mutual understanding and support of two people. Wang Chong continued. Li Mei understands me very well. We have common interests, and we can calmly communicate and solve things. Such a marriage is true happiness. I nodded my head, feeling a lot of emotions in my heart. Oftentimes, we pursue the glamour and glitz of the surface, but neglect the true feelings of the heart. The story of Wang Chong and Li Mei made me understand what true love and marriage are. That day when I returned home, I said to my wife, I talked a lot with Wang Chong today, and I think we should also communicate more and understand each other. My wife looked at me and said with a smile, yes, marriage needs to be run, let's work together. Since then, I began to pay more attention to communication and get along with my wife. Every weekend, I would do something with my wife that we both like, such as going for a walk in the park or watching a movie together. Gradually, our relationship became more intimate and harmonious. Through the story of Wang Chong and Li Mei, I realized one truth. True happiness does not lie in external material conditions, but in inner satisfaction and mutual love. One weekend afternoon, my wife and I were drinking tea on the balcony when we suddenly received a call from Wang Chong. His voice sounded a bit urgent. Lao Li, can you come to my house? There is something I want to talk to you. I agreed. After hanging up the phone, I told my wife that Wang Chong had something urgent to find me, and rushed to his house. When I entered, I saw Wang Chong sitting on the living room sofa, looking a little haggard. Li Mei was busy in the kitchen, and when she saw me come in, she nodded politely and continued to busy herself. Wang Chong pointed to the sofa and gestured for me to sit down, then let out a long sigh. Old Li, I really don't know what to do. I was a bit surprised and asked, what's wrong? What happened? Wang Chong shook his head with a bitter smile. Recently, the company has encountered some trouble. The project funding has gone wrong. Coupled with the sudden cancellation of several important customers' contracts, the whole company is in trouble. This is a big deal. What are you going to do then? I asked with concern. I was going to borrow some money from my family for turnover, but when my parents heard about it, they rejected it outright and said that if I was doing it for Li Mei, it wasn't worth it. They think Li Mei is an ominous person. Wang Chong's eyes were bleak and his voice was filled with helplessness and pain. How can your parents say that? Li Mei has always been good to your family. I was a bit exasperated. Wang Chong nodded. Yeah, I also had a fight with them, but they just wouldn't let up and said that if I insisted on being with Li Mei, they would kick me out of the house. Hearing this, I also felt bad in my heart. Wang Chong and Li Mei did not come all the way easily, and now they even have to face this predicament. As we were talking, Li Mei brought over a plate of fruits and placed it on the coffee table, then sat next to us. Jiangzi, don't be too upset. We can figure out a way to get through this together. Wang Chong held Li Mei's hand, his eyes filled with gratitude. Li Mei, I really don't want to get you involved. Li Mei smiled faintly. We are husband and wife. What difficulties can't we face together? I secretly admired Li Mei's strength and wisdom and decided that I must help them. Wang Chong, don't be in a hurry. I know a few friends who might be able to introduce you to some investors and alleviate the capital problem. I patted his shoulders. Wang Chong looked at me gratefully. Old Li, thank you really. In this way, I utilized my contacts to help Wang Chong contact some investors, and after a few rounds of negotiations, I finally got some results. Although it was impossible to solve all the problems immediately, at least there was hope. A few days later, Wang Chong's company gradually took off, and he slowly regained his old spirit. Li Mei stayed by his side all the time, and the two of them faced the difficulties together, a relationship that made me admire and envy him even more. Wang Chong's company has just improved. I did not expect new problems came again. One day, I received a call from Wang Chong. His voice was helpless. Li, can you come back? I have something to say to you. I rushed to his house and saw that both Wang Chong and Li Mei did not look well. Wang Chong spoke first. This time it was Li Mei's ex-husband who came to the door. I froze for a moment. Ex-husband? What is he looking for you guys for? Li Mei lowered her head, her voice a little choked. He heard that Changzi and I were doing well, so he wanted to come and extort a sum of money, or else he would spread rumors about me everywhere and say some unpleasant things. Wang Chang said angrily, "That bastard is simply a scoundrel. I'm really worried that these rumors will affect the company's reputation." I pondered for a while and asked Li Mei, "Why did your ex-husband divorce you before?" Li Mei's eyes were bleak. He was a good gambler, owed a lot of debt, and was often domestically abusive. I couldn't live with it anymore, so I decided to get a divorce. I nodded, having some ideas in my mind. Then we can't let him have his way. Have you guys considered calling the police? Wang Chang shook his head. It's useless to call the police. He's a scoundrel and isn't afraid of anything. Then we'll use legal means to deal with him. I suggested, collect evidence first, then hire a good lawyer to publicize his evil deeds. Wang Chang and Li Mei heard this and thought it was a good idea. So we started to collect all kinds of bad deeds of his ex-husband, including his previous gambling records and evidence of domestic violence. After a period of time, we finally collected enough evidence. Li Mei and Wang Chang decided to solve the problem by legal means. When Li Mei's ex-husband saw the evidence in our hands, he was so scared that he didn't dare to make any more trouble, and finally signed a pledge that he promised not to harass them anymore. After this incident, Wang Chang and Li Mei's life is back on track. Wang Chang's company is also gradually on track with the support of several investors. Li Mei continued to support Wang Chang, and the couple's relationship became more solid. When I saw all this, I felt immensely gratified in my heart. A few weeks later, Wang Chang and I got together again, this time in a cozy little restaurant. Wang Chang was all smiles, obviously much more relaxed. He raised his glass and said to me, "Old Li, thank you sincerely. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't know what to do." I smiled. "Don't talk about this between brothers. I'm happy to be able to help. Now that your family is living a good life, it's better than anything else." Wang Chang nodded. "Yes, after going through so much, my relationship with Li Mei has instead become stronger. She has always been my strong backing." Li Mei smiled as she looked at Wang Chang, her eyes full of tenderness. "Changzi, we've been through so much. No matter what difficulties we face in the future, I'll face them with you." I looked at the couple's appearance. My heart was filled with emotion and admiration. There will always be all kinds of difficulties and challenges in life, but as long as two people truly love each other and support each other, there is no difficulty that can't be overcome. That night, I came home and said to my wife, "Seeing Wang Chang and Li Mei today, I really think that the most important thing between husband and wife is to support and understand each other. We also need to cherish each other." My wife smiled and nodded. "Yes, a happy life requires two people to work together. We also need to be like them and support each other when facing difficulties." Since then, I have cherished every moment with my wife even more. We faced all the challenges in life together and shared our joys and sorrows together. Our relationship has also become deeper in this way. Through the story of Wang Chang and Li Mei, I truly understand what the true meaning of marriage is. That is, no matter what difficulties they encounter, two people can walk hand in hand, face them together, and walk towards a better future together.